I'm David Lombardo, and you're listening to WCNY's The Capitol Press Room. Governor Kathy Hochul's office has utilized artificial intelligence to review state laws and regulations in pursuit of identifying outdated procedures, restrictions, and language. And while there are broad restrictions on how artificial intelligence can be utilized by the state, it is clearly a tool that will play a larger and larger role in the function of government at all levels. So we wanted to explore what it might look like at the local level in New York. To do that, we're joined remotely by Tyler Traudt, CEO of DebtBook, a treasury and accounting software company that has begun deploying AI tools and has multiple public sector partners here in New York, including Plattsburgh and Ithaca. Thanks for making the time, Tyler.
Thanks, David. Happy to be here.
Well, I guess for starters, can you explain how municipalities have historically used some of your software products and how local governments like Plattsburgh and Ithaca might be utilizing some of your AI-backed programs in the future?
Yeah, happy to do it. And it doesn't have to be that much more complex than local government, state government employee gets hired to do a job. There's a particular job description that the human resources team produces. Let's say that has 7 different things that you're primarily responsible for. If you get hired into the organization, you're going to get trained on how to do those things. And traditional software would be an application. You would get on your computer, you would go open up an application, you would log in, and to do 5 of those 7 things, you would follow a list of prompts. You would go through and fill out forms and go get information and type information into software, and then you would get some result, a report, for example, that you have to prepare for your monthly board meeting to give to the mayor about the investment earnings for this last monthly period of time. That's traditional software that people would use. It's designed for a human to come into the software, to use it, to input information to it, and to get some value out of it, get a report maybe, for an example. What will transition is broadly to think about the software will begin to use the software. So the software today is purpose-built for a human to go and enter information. But what I think a very simple way to think about this transition will be the software will know what those 11 different key responsibilities are, and they'll be built into workflows. There's 9 steps in this one process that I have to run every single day. If I'm going to go produce a report, I have to go get this information from this place. I have to get this information from that place. This person gives me this. I put the information together. I format it. I check it. I present it. There are all these different steps in a workflow. Future state and what's happening now, those workflows have already all been mapped. It's just a person is going step by step. AI will come in and begin to do some of those steps for people. So, for example, you could have a report for a mayor monthly, and it's going to include all of your outstanding investment holdings. And today you might go into software and download something into an Excel spreadsheet and then format it. Well, AI will just do that step for a person to then review. So it's just like, quite frankly, getting a entry-level employee that knows your data. It knows this one very specific workflow. And rather than a human keying information in, I got this document, I need to extract this information and put it into this software system, the human will upload the document. The system will know what it's going to try to do. It will try to extract the information correctly. And then the human will just say, oh, you got it right. Or nope, you made a mistake. We need to correct this right here. So very simple way to think about it is today, local government employees, especially in finance, which is really where we specialize, they use software, they key information in, they use it to get outputs, many other types of software for sure. Future state and where we're really going now is the software will know how to use the software and they will prompt it. They'll say, I need to generate a new report. I just got asked this question from a citizen or from my boss. How should I go and pull this report? The software will know how to use it. It will go find it. It will go format it, and it will ask the user, is this what you wanted? It will really accelerate all those workflows, but I don't think it eliminates a lot of those core workflows.
So as you deploy this in municipalities around New York, are there any state rules and regulations that you have to follow? Because I think about how AI can be used by state agencies, for example, and there are disclosure requirements. There are efforts to ensure that there are a human set of eyes on all of the decision making that AI is being asked to do. So what, if any, safeguards or disclosure requirements are there for municipal governments that are looking to utilize some of these tools moving forward?
It's changing all the time. There's lots of complexity around state by state. We serve in 50 different states around the country. And we are looking to our customers to ensure that the work that they're doing is being done at an acceptable level. We have certain rules that we have to comply with, but we don't have today specific state requirements for how we are building our software. We're trying to create as much value as possible for our customers. And so when we go through the onboarding process with our customers, we will be looking to better understand from them, is there a particular way that you can or can't? Can you not use these tools? If you can't use these tools, that's okay. We can turn those things off inside the software. If it's possible for folks to use the tools, then we want to deploy that value to our customers. But we really look at our customers and we say to our customers, do you want to use these capabilities? Can you use these capabilities? It's important for them to make that decision. We are going to press ahead and we're going to try to create as much value as possible for our customers around the country.
Do you think there is merit to requiring a local government to disclose to their citizens when they're using artificial intelligence, to say, here is a report that we compiled with some AI help, or here's some budget analysis that we did with AI help? I mean, is there a benefit to that type of disclosure, or is that akin to saying, like, hey, when you show up somewhere, let people know you used, Google Maps?
I think it's interesting, and I certainly think there's merit to having the conversation. To me, I think about it just like, would you disclose that you use a computer to produce this analysis? I mean,
where's the line?
It's similar to me. We're all using computers. And if you weren't using computers to produce the analysis, the commentary would be like, we're so behind. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is crazy. This is inefficient. And so I think the way that I think about it, artificial intelligence, if it's reviewed by a human, as long as the individuals understand that nobody really cares how you got to the outcome. It's your responsibility that the outcome is accurate, that this information is successful, which is true. I mean, think about regulated entities. The SEC doesn't care how a bank or an investment bank, for example, how they get to an analysis that's provided to a customer. You can use computers, you can use artificial intelligence, but you are liable. Ultimately, it's your responsibility to ensure its accuracy. And so I think it gets into a responsible and acceptable use of the tools. They should be built into existing software systems with really clear data structures, core deterministic business logic that's audited, which ours is, all the time. And now our artificial intelligence is just using those rails, that business logic that a human can use, that's audited all the time. And so you really can ensure accuracy and quality if it's built the right way. Hopping into a model that you have on your phone and asking it a question that's uninformed and then producing it's pretty poor. That's negligent. I wouldn't do that. It shouldn't be allowed. So but people will do that. I certainly understand the conversation around, should this be disclosed? I'm not against that, but I think it will be so common that it will be disclosed all the time that we used artificial intelligence to deliver this report, to produce this analysis. And I think future state, it'll be like disclosing today that, hey, I used my Mac and my computer and I used Excel to build this analysis. It will be expected.
We use spell check to write this press release. Well,
exactly.
What about the user side of things? Because you mentioned the idea of using these tools in the finance side of government. And historically, you needed some level of understanding of government and budgeting to make sense of financial documents, to glean insights into what you're seeing. So what level of expertise does a government official need to dissect the findings and recommendations of an AI tool that is looking at budgeting or some sort of accounting documents? Because I have to imagine there are some elected officials out there salivating about the idea of cutting down on their Ways and Means staff because we've got Marty, the AI tool, to do this instead of us. So is there some sort of human expertise needed to interface with the AI tools?
One of the really interesting things is you think about which types of professionals are going to come in and really utilize these tools. And my initial assumption would have been it's going to be the youngest, most progressive employees in our company. They're going to go right into the tools and grab them and use them. But what's really true is if you are going to be responsible for the quality of the output of the work that's being done, you have to be able to review and approve. And so the more experienced professionals are in a meaningfully greater position to bring these tools into their work because they know what good looks like. They know what wrong clearly is, just like they would be working with a young professional right out of college. But a young professional right out of college doesn't have 15 years of experience to know with whether or not the model's giving them a good answer or a bad answer, or if it's overly complex or if it's informed or not. And so there's a really interesting dynamic there. The people with all the experience are best positioned to know and really govern whether or not the information is correct. And that clearly presents a challenge. It presents a challenge for everybody that wants to go and capture these efficiencies. Because I think you're right. I mean, one area where I'll take the conversation really quickly is a lot of the work that we help governments and nonprofits do, much of it they're not doing today. So it's not just, hey, you're doing this work and there's 10 people doing this work and now we can help you be 40% more efficient, which is true. But there's a lot of work that isn't happening, best in class, best practices that isn't happening today that could now happen because the capacity has been generated for their team. So it's not just about cutting. It's not just about taking humans out of an organization to reduce expense, to improve, if you're a corporation, profitability, or if you're a government or nonprofit, to balance the budget and go and maybe reallocate resources. There too are areas where somebody maybe today, I'll give you our example, somebody today doesn't look at the bank account every single day. Somebody today doesn't reconcile all the bank transactions every single day. They don't do that because they don't have time to do that. But if these tools can now all of a sudden enable you to do it, your local government just got better. Your local government finance office just got more responsible, and they just got put into a position where they can better catch fraud. They can go invest their money more effectively. They can go and improve investment earnings because they have time to go do the analysis, but they still have to check it, especially if you're in the area of finance. You're setting budgets, you're moving money, you're making payments. This is not, I hope it's right, or I'm 98% sure it's right, let's go do it. This is, you have to be 100% right. And so therefore, I think the ways that it must work is you use artificial intelligence, but you give it really clear guardrails. Those systems are audited, and a system like ours is audited, the way the calculations work, the way that we store and use the data. And then you can go and capture those efficiency gains, and you can do it in a really responsible, effective way.
So what about the training of the AI tools? Because I understand the idea of you contract with Plattsburgh and then your AI tool learns and gets better based on its experience with Plattsburgh. But what happens when you go sell to another municipality and you're looking to start from scratch? Is the tool that you're going to pitch them, is that going to be developed by insights gleaned from Plattsburgh, from Ithaca, from Syracuse University? I mean, do your existing clients then help shape your product moving forward as you look to expand your footprint?
If we work with Plattsburgh, their information is not going to be shared with another organization, and their information is not going to be utilized to improve the model. And so we're not a model company. We don't build the models. We bring them into our existing software, but our information as a company is not utilized by the model companies, and our customers' information is not utilized by the model companies. But where there is learning is, let's say that somebody at a local government is asking a question, like we on our side will be able to see like, gosh, you know what? We really can't handle that question well. And then we will go improve the prompts, the context that's available, and we'll go improve some of the information that's available to the model to go and better answer that question next time. And so the software companies that are trying to help you, they can actually see David's asking this question over and over and over again, and the prompts aren't very good. We get that feedback, and then we can say, gosh, can we make this experience better?
Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this conversation. We've been speaking with Tyler Traudt. He's the CEO of DebtBook. Tyler, thank you so much for making the time. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for listening to today's edition of the Capitol Press Room. For an insider take on what's happening in state government, check out our Dispatches from Planet Albany show, available wherever you get podcasts or at capitolpressroom.org.
Join us again for Capitol Press Room, a production of WCNY Connected, Syracuse.